Are you a rail fan? Do you take pictures of your models? Are you a YouTube creator? If so, you're interested in cameras. Stay tuned while I unbox the new Panasonic Lumix S1 camera. Hello again, Bob Johnson with PK&W Railroad, here to unbox the Panasonic Lumix S1 camera that I just bought. But first, a little bit of my history with cameras. I've always said I'm a Canon guy, but the reality is I've done a lot of experimenting in the digital age with Sony. The first camera I had was an AE1 Canon film camera that I had for several decades, starting in the late 70s. Great camera. I no longer have that camera body or lenses. Here on the table are some of the digital cameras I've had. This Mavica camera with the little discs to record the images. Took some great photos with that. In fact, probably my most award-winning photograph I took with this little camera. 3.3 megapixels. I then moved up to the RD1 digital camera from Sony. Awesome design, great camera, dual card slots, really nice Zeiss optics. But you know, Sony lost the battle of innovating form factor on digital cameras, and so they ended up, the industry ended up going down the road of having digital cameras look a lot like film cameras, for better or worse. In between here, I purchased the first digital camera from Canon, which was the M1 camera. Software was a disaster, ultimately ended up being a fairly good camera. Soon thereafter, I acquired this camera, which has been my mainstay for the last decade. In about 2009, a year after it came out, I got the Canon 50D, which was the last of the magnesium alloy bodied prosumer cameras from Canon. The 60D and after have light plastic bodies, very different cameras from a body standpoint. And I'm a real camera body fanatic. I like a heavy camera body, more about that later. I then got the Canon M50. I'll show you a shot on the B-roll. That's what's recording this video. Flippy screen, great camera for YouTube video production. There's plenty of YouTube videos out there about this camera. And most recently, for 29 bucks, I got this little Cross Tour action cam. Helmet mounting, handlebar mounting. I'm going to be using this to document an upcoming bike tour and probably a lot of other activities. So this is kind of the background, kind of where I'm coming from a camera perspective. The Panasonic or Lumix S1 is a full frame digital camera, mirrorless camera. Unlike this 50D, which has got a mirror. And so I'm really coming into the current digital age. And of course, not of course, but as many of you know, Panasonic's cameras are awesome for video, and the S1 is no exception. There is an S1H for video. It's significantly more expensive and doesn't take as tack sharp still images because of some of the filtering on it. As the S1. And there's also the S1R, which is like a 43 megapixel monster. Again, it's significantly more expensive, and really those extra megapixels are only useful if you're a landscape photographer and you're printing out really large prints and that sort of thing. And that's just not what I do. So I ordered 4 things from B&H Photography, essentially. The S1 and the kit lens. It's a very nice lens, but the kit lens, which I assumed would come in one box. I also ordered 2 memory cards and a spare battery. And I got this incredible stack of boxes. What? Crazy. At any rate, that's the whole stack. I'm going to start opening the battery box first. I can't tell you how excited I am about this. I'm really kind of a gearhead and a camera geek, so to getting a new camera, I haven't gotten one in a decade. Well, a major camera system anyway. And switching over to full frame, super exciting. I'm hoping this box is the battery because it's got this battery symbol on it, unlike the other small boxes. So we'll see. It's like Fort Knox. And it does look like it is the battery. Incredibly well protected here. Alright, so there is the spare battery. Shout out to the tool man in Fort Worth, still using this little X-Acto handle I bought from you many, many years ago. Now, for comparison purposes, here are the batteries from some of my other cameras, so you can see how huge this battery is for the S1. This is the battery for the Cross Tour action camera. This is the battery for the M50. I believe it's the same one as the M1. This is the battery for the 50D, and this is the battery for the S1. You can see, much larger battery. Despite that size, I understand battery life on the S1 is not stellar. Good, but not stellar. Okay, now we're going to open up what I believe are memory cards. The fact that these boxes are not taped deprives me of the normal dramatic moment of opening the box with a knife and then opening up the lid on a reveal. Instead, you see this clumsy fumbling with the box while I tear glued sides apart. So there's two memory cards that I acquired. One is a standard SD card, and that is this memory card. This box contains the XQD memory card. The S1 has two memory card slots. One, a standard SD card that many of you are probably familiar with. The other is the XQD. It's been around for 5 or 6 years, and if you shoot Nikon, you're probably familiar with it because Nikon adopted it and uses the XQD standard. The XQD holds a lot more data than the SD card, and it has a lot faster transfer rates. So it's kind of supposed to be the future. Interestingly, however, the S1H, the variant of the camera I just got that's for video, uses dual SD cards. So even though the XQD is really commonly used by professional videographers, film crews, that sort of thing, because of those capacity and transfer rates issues, still the S1H uses SD cards. Strange. These cards are not cheap, and they look a lot like an SD card, I'm told. I've never seen one before, so it's going to be interesting to see. They're just thicker. They can't use the same slot as a... Yeah, well, interesting. So there is the XQD card. It's significantly larger than an SD card. It may not be visible on camera. Here's a little memory card size comparison for you. This is the compact flash card, fairly old technology, but still in use in a lot of cameras, and part of the 50D. What the 50D uses is the compact flash card. This is a memory stick. Sony's preferred memory storage device for quite some time, and came out of my RD1. This is the classic SD card that's used in possibly the vast majority of digital cameras today. And this is the XQD card that I got for use in the S1. I got a 120 gigabyte card because I didn't want to spend, you know, like $300 for a 256 gigabyte card. For the same money, I think that was about 80 bucks. For the same money, I got two 256 gigabyte SD cards. So it's expensive memory, but at any rate, there's a little size comparison for you. All right, we've opened the battery and we've opened the memory cards, but now it's time for the mother load. Time for the camera and lens. And I can tell you, I'm excited. Packing material, shipping manifest. Sorry, it was $200 for the XQD card. $200. I can tell you right now, this box is a fabulous box, and it looks like what it is. Something very valuable is inside. It's almost like a jewelry box. Sealed here with a little adhesive seal that I'm going to cut through. Well, let's see what we've got in here. More boxes. Okay, this is the owner's manual. All right, this looks like the camera body itself. Very nicely packaged, very nicely presented. You're gonna spend this kind of money on a camera. There we have it. On the B-roll, I'll try and put kind of a Lazy Susan shot of the camera itself. I can tell you this is fairly heavy. I don't think it's significantly heavier than my 50D, maybe a little bit heavier than my 50D. It's a little bit bigger than my 50D, a little bit squarer, clunkier, a little bit chunkier. The grip is okay, but the distance here between this flange and the bottom of the camera is pretty short for my hand. You see how my pinky is hanging off the bottom? I'm definitely going to have to get a battery grip for this in order to be comfortable. That's a little disappointing right there. I thought the camera would be bigger. I like heavy camera bodies. I've got benign tremors. I'm working on reducing those by exercising my hands and getting in better shape generally, and I think I am reducing those, but a big camera body is going to be a lot steadier and more stable, especially in my shaky hands. So I like a heavy camera body. That's why I have this camera. All right, let's see if we can find the lens. I see a lens hood, so I suspect this is the lens. Well, I can tell you right off, I'm a little disappointed that the lens doesn't have its own case. This lens is, $1,200, $1,500, something like that. It doesn't have its own case. It just comes in a plastic bag. That's a little disappointing. Well, there you have it. This is the kit lens. This is a 25 to 105 constant f4 aperture lens. So it's really a very nice piece of glass for a kit lens. So thanks for tolerating what is probably going to be one of my longer videos about something that isn't necessarily directly related to model railroading and rail fanning. Well, thank you for watching my unboxing video, unboxing my new camera, the Panasonic Lumix S1. Please subscribe if you like this content. I'll be having more content coming out about actual modeling and railroading. So please subscribe. Please give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Tell me what you like or what I could do better. Until next time, Bob Johnson with PK&W Railroads signing off. Happy modeling.